Hey guys, this is day 5. Here I'm just setting up the Trade of 8. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I just wanted to get a video out, but I keep switching between TradingView and Trade of 8. I think I'm gonna fix that in the next video because it's just not good for clarity. I want to keep this uncut, but the videos are gonna be kind of way too big. So please let me know if you prefer them uncut or if I can, cut them up into the most relevant parts. A lot of it's just waiting, and I will be doing like times 2 or times 3 or even times 5 sometimes. But yeah, please let me know if I might just stop recording the actual display itself and record only the trade of 8. So then if you want to see what I use for my strategy, I guess I can make a video on it, but yeah, that might be simpler. So today is probably the last day you'll see TradingView, and I'll just record Trade of 8. So here I'm just setting up all of my levels. Some of them I pay more attention to, like previous day high, previous day low, and some of them are just I'm working on them. I'm still not sure if I will use them. Most important ones for me are the volume profiles of the overnight and previous day, as well as previous day high and low. Previous day 50% as well is super important. Here I end up getting into a position. I liked how it looked. The volume was good. It was downtrending. I can go into more detail, but basically it was the overnight value area low. I end up putting my stop at break even as soon as it gets that low, so we're risk free already. Ends up taking me out. And here is where I had my biggest regret of the session, because I see a lot of absorption on these two candles. CVD is super high, going down, super high volume going down, but the candles are holding on and actually flip, as you will see in a couple of seconds, which in my strategy at the key levels as well is a perfect long setup. I was debating getting out of the position here. I didn't. I should have reversed and canceled. That is hindsight, as well as I was thinking in the moment. So I was actually, my cursor was below the candle because I was thinking my stop would be there. And as you can see, I get stopped out here, and the rest is history. So realistically, it was a really good long setup at a point of control. It's also an inverse for value gap for those who take that into account. CVD flips bullish. It was an amazing long. I should have taken that long. It ends up running for 200 points, but yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda, I guess. It was a really good setup though. I almost entered it, but I didn't. If you want, I can explain absorption a little bit in a specific video. I don't have access to really good order flow tools or platforms, stuff like that, because it's kind of expensive. But with what I have, which is peak volume and TradingView CVD, you can get a sense of it, and also just from looking at the charts for so long. But yeah, it ends up touching VWAP. It does a little bit of a wick out, so I figured at this key level I could sneak a little short. It was short-lived because that is not at all a good setup. So yeah, I did short here because of the overnight, as you saw my cursor there, because of the overnight value area low. It is flipping, so it's kind of absorbing a little bit on the buyer's side, but they just end up being stronger, as you'll see in the next few minutes. So this ends up being the first loss of the session. So right now we're at 1 break even, 1 loss. Was about 130, I think. I'll hover over it so you'll see. So right here, instead of hesitating, I see the price is flipping in a good position. It's part of my strategy. Here on the overnight value area high, so I end up clicking the buy button. 3 micros, I think it's 25 points risk, which is a little above what I wished, but CVD is looking strong. We have a clear target here, previous day value area high. I mark it up here on TradingView. So it ends up going a little slow. It's kind of stalling here in this position, but I think in the next candle we have a good push. I'm just marking out previous accumulations for possible targets. Yeah, we're just stalling a little bit. I almost get stopped, but I like the way CVD tries to push lower with big volume candles, but it fails to, and it flips the candle, the price candle. So that means it's a good position. It's a good criteria, good theory. So as soon as we hit this first target here, which is the previous day value area high, as you can see from the dotted yellow line, I put my stop to break even. I think I pull my stop once or twice here, because I think with volume profiles, and when they break the first time, so no retracement, as you can see, I only entered off of a flip, so there's just the break, there's no retracement. More often than not, it will retrace, so I guess this wasn't the case. So yeah, that's why sometimes I pull down my stop. I'm just adjusting my profit trigger here. This is just consistency, but I'm not looking for consistency every single time because I know that's not realistic. So we end up pushing around 50 points here, which is a good push. I don't have any targets in Trade but I do have them on TradingView. As you can see, it just hit a POC, so I pull my stop up to the first target. But because it's in the middle of a fair value, so that means lower amount of orders, I know that it can retrace there very easily. So I just pull my stop down. So yeah, POCs are good targets, and value area lows as well if you're long, per my strategy, of course. So after running a bit higher and taking out that high, which was a red flip, I end up putting my stop at that flip and this green candle flip, so it should be a good stopping point for this trade because we've already hit well, the second target actually, a POC of a previous accumulation. So we end up getting stopped here, and realistically I should have ended my day here because it's not in the rules, but I should follow the one win and get out principle, because every time that I trade, or most of the time that I trade after getting a win, even if it's a small win, especially if it's a small win actually, I end up losing everything. So in fact it runs a little higher, so I think I do put my stop below this green candle here. So it was a pretty good trade. It was around 50 points, if I'm not mistaken, or 30 or something like that. Not sure. Here I'm just putting consistency target. That is the previous day high, so I guess it's also a realistic target, but we're super far away, so it's just consistency. It's just a way to protect the account from over profiting, which is stupid, right? But if there's a big move up, then I don't need any more than that, and I can get out with full consistency. So yeah, I end up pulling my stop here, and we get trailed out. I liked leaving here. I really liked exiting my position here. As you can see, the peak volume was really high, and it flipped red on an uptrend, and we haven't retraced yet. So even though we go up here, I'm not mad. I really am not mad. So yeah, I check out my profit here, and realistically, this should have been day, but I guess I got greedy because I got one loss and a small win. So yeah. So after a while, after waiting for price to retrace exactly where we wanted it to, that little mini accumulation there where we had our first position, we actually get into a long here. I wanted it a bit lower, but yeah, stop is around 25 points. We entered with 3 micros. I like the position because it's an overnight value area high level. But as you can see, we are right at the level, I guess. So we still haven't broken through. We're just bouncing off of it. And that yellow line there is the previous day value area high. So I should have known that we were going to accumulate a little bit here around this area. It ends up flipping, and it's just going to stay here a little bit. I might even fast forward this. So we do end up getting stopped here. I pull another VP in this area because it's accumulating around here. But I think I pull another one a little bit later on this specific area after this red candle. So yeah, we do get stopped here because I should have known not to enter here because it's accumulating between 2 value area high levels, previous day and overnight. So yeah. I do enter again because more often than not it's just a bottom tick, but I do end up getting stopped again. So patience is what I needed here. Now I'm just waiting until I see some kind of bullish strength. It can definitely bounce here on the 50% of orb. By the way, this 50% level is the orb opening range breakout in the first 15 minutes. I don't use it as a strategy. I use it as a confluence, so for targets or for breakouts or retracement, stuff like that, but never as an actual strategy alone. I have my own. So we kind of just wait around here, check the news. There's news at 3, so this was actually a news candle. I didn't notice. We end up getting into a long position here because that was the idea from the start. If this news wasn't here, I think the long position up there would have made more sense. But I guess it bounces on VWAP here. I pull my stop down to below this candle. I think I actually end up getting stopped first before the last winning trade. Not sure though. Yep, price starts to rise. So this is kind of like a 50% retracement on the leg. You maybe saw me pull it up, pull the orb up just to see where the 50% of this whole leg was. So it was around here. Also, we have a previous point of control. We have VWAP. So it's a good entry. It's a good bouncing point. We pull our stop. Actually, as you notice, we entered with 5 micros. I liked entering here with 5 micros because it was a much shorter stop. I do pull it down, so I guess I didn't really follow the rules here, but I was confident in the position. It made sense to me. We end up flipping here, which is really, really good for us. Volume is not in our side just yet, but this candle is still going on for a while, so we end up getting good volume, and it starts to rally in our favor. After this series of events, I kind of shit my pants almost a little bit, but you'll see that it was fine. I did what it was right. I held the position. I kept pulling my stop down because realistically, I was just going to get bottom ticked and re-entering. So yeah, price does exactly what I thought it should have done like 4 candles ago, but I guess it just wanted to accumulate orders there a little bit. we have volume in our favor, so this is a really, really good breakout. This is the first target here where I have my cursor. So my stop is actually at the flip of this candle. It would have been a small win if that happened, but it is what it is. First target hit, we pull the stop. That's the rules. Well, it's not written down, but that's one of my rules for my strategy. So, yep. After this, we just wait a little bit. We have the target there. That's actually consistency, believe it or not. It's super close. Price being a little bit of a nuisance here, but it's always going to do whatever it wants to do. So I pull up this VP because this is a small accumulation here, and it's actually value area high of this accumulation. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it can bounce here. But as you will see, it ends up running through it. And now that I think about it, I'm not sure if we get stopped at break even before the winning position here. So let's see what happens. Oh wow, that was close. Volume is picking up. I have no idea why. There's no news at this minute, but yeah, starting to get kind of concerned with my position here because it should have ran already. It did hit first target, and I should have come out of the position right there where price is, but I was just gonna re-enter if that happened, so might as well, right? I would have re-entered right here actually on the yellow line, because that was a good wick on the red candle. So that is a good entry, and it's also a good stop here where I have my stop right now, below VWAP, below all the volume. So I think it's also below the value area low for this mini accumulation. So I guess this is just the waiting game until consistency. We don't quite reach it, but we get pretty close to it. So yeah, I'll just fast forward this bit here so you can see what happens. So we get this nice push up, and as soon as we hit the second target, which is orb high, we pull my stop. I pull my stop up to below that candle there. So if it actually flips here, it's really bad because it's orb high as well as a fair value out there. So I don't think we get pulled out of the position just yet, but I'm not sure. Maybe we do. Yeah, we do actually. I do contemplate a little bit. Maybe I should have held it a bit longer, but I liked where I exited. It made sense because the volume picked up, it flipped the candle. So now I'm just going to show you the profit. So there it is. And yeah, it's just going to accumulate a little bit here. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.